All right, that's all the exercises. Very good job. I'm sure that you have worked on these and are getting comfortable, and I just encourage you to continue until you really truly feel like you've mastered them. It's one thing to kind of play them and skirt through it and go, okay, yep, I got it, safe. And there's another thing to just sit there and go, yeah, man, this is totally happening. I'm completely comfortable with this. It's almost like you can never master something too much. You can continue to play it, continue to play it, continue to play it until it is just so second nature that it's just part of you. And that is when you're able to make an amazing creative expression without the hindrance of analyzation in the mind. This is going to work here. Is this going to work here? Here I go. Or I know I can fit this thing in that I've been practicing. That's a very contrived way of playing music, especially like improvised music. You can tell the difference when you're listening to music that is being played and everyone is playing things that they know are going to work. This fill is going to work because it's metronomically fits in and it's fast and it does this thing that I've been practicing. That to me is very contrived music. You can still be very inspired by it. You can go, whoa, that was amazing. One of my favorite, I love this, I'm just going to quote one of my favorite guitar players and one of the things that he said long ago. Andy Timmons, guitar player in Dallas, Texas, who is one of the greatest rock guitar players, period. And he's an amazing guitar player in many different genres. So we were in a band together many years ago in 1992 in a band called Tin Man. And he was talking about playing a solo, and he was just setting up a scenario. He wasn't talking about himself, but he was just setting up the scenario about an audience experiencing someone playing a solo. And he says, I heard a lot of wows, but not a lot of yes. And I've always thought about that. When someone is listening to, when you're listening to someone and you go, wow, it's coming from here. If you're listening to someone and you go, yeah, it's coming from here. That makes sense? A wow is like intellectual. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Look at all that. How did that work? How did that fit? How did they do that? It's all mental. And you can sit back and go, yeah. You go, oh man, that feels so good. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's awesome. It's a totally different level of performance. It can be complex. It can still be intricate. You can still get a yeah from intricacy and complexity. Of course. But you probably don't get a wow. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. This is a philosophical discussion, and then when it's just me talking, it's kind of hard to have this back and forth thing. But of course, everything is possible. You can have a wow for something simple, and you can have a wow for something complex. I mean, if I'm listening to Jim Keltner, and he goes, ch ch boom, ka, sa. I go, wow. And I go, yeah. Like, that's brilliant. I'm saying wow because it's like, oh my God, how on earth was that able to be expressed in that way? That's a whole other way of, being blown away. It's like the anti-chops kind of concept where you go, wow, did you hear all those notes? Or, wow, how did they choose to not do anything right there? Right? We can be very inspired by both things. So the whole point, and to me, the biggest purpose is to just go as deep as you can with what you're doing. If you start to feel, oh man, my playing feels a little bit like it's on the surface, go deeper. Make it deeper. Always go deeper. Not more complex, not more crazy and technical, just deeper. And they can be on a lot of levels. My hands, I want to work on my hands. Well, you're going deeper. The more tuned your hands are, the deeper you've gone. Oh, I want to understand this music better. Okay, well, you're going deeper. You're learning more about it. And as long as you can keep going deeper, you grow. Your roots go deeper, and you You become a more in tuned musician, and really you become a more in tuned human. Because obviously, I know that you've probably experienced this. The way you play music is kind of the way you are as a person. You know, are you compassionate? Do you have empathy? Are you supportive of people's conversations? Or do you walk into a room and demand that you're the one that needs to be heard, and you've got all the ideas? I mean, personalities, once you get to a certain level in your playing, your personality comes out in your music. And that's what makes music infinite. When you're able to get together with a group of musicians and everyone is expressing from their personality, the music is going to be a snapshot of a conversation with sound between those people. It's very simple, right? So just think about that. Just keep that in your mind all the time when you're playing. Think about, am I in tune with how I am expressing myself? Am I expressing myself from the true me, or am I expressing myself from some kind of ego me? Look at me, I'm fancy. You know, look at me, I'm fast, I'm complex. Or look at me, whatever. Or is it, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm here to hang. What do you want to talk about? Right? So there's different ways to be a person, there's different ways to be a musician, but eventually they marry. Whoever you are becomes however you play. All right? I know I've gotten deep on this lesson. This will probably be turned into a podcast. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you doing these lessons with me, and I look forward to the next one. Take care.